Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Amy. This is the Inspired Homeschool. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to talk about, it's like the third quarter check-in. We just started our third quarter, so really it's like the first half of our year. And I'm just going to update you guys with what's working, what's not, what we changed, what's staying the same. So if you're interested, my kids are in 10th grade and 7th grade. So I'm going to go through my 10th grader first. And welcome. So we're kind of interest-led. If you're new here, kind of interest-led, kind of literature, really eclectic. That's how we are. So we change things up. We try to keep it fun. And so welcome. I'll start with my son, and I'm going to start with language arts. We always seems like switch up language arts so much, especially for my son. We tried learning language arts through literature. This was like our second language arts to try for the year. I didn't like it. Bummer. This is the Gold Book. This is American Lit. And I think we made it through like 2 of the short stories. And I thought that the questions were boring. And it was a lot of them. So for us, it was just a little, I don't know, if it takes the fun out of literature for me, that makes it kind of not what we want to do. And it definitely, for my kid, took the fun out of literature, like big time. So that's just how we roll over here. So we left this behind, and I will show you what we picked up instead. We went back to our best grammar workbook ever for grammar. And we love this. It's absolutely great. We've also used like Life of Fred's Australia. And I think that that's great too. If you want to do grammar in high school, you probably don't have to. But they're short. I have this book, I have a flip through of it that's on my channel if you want to look at it. But really good, really quick, to the point, great little grammar resource. And then he's been reading 2 books we picked on our own independently. Like this last quarter, he read Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. He started that like over October through December. And that was really good. He loved it. And we did some just talking about it, wrote some summaries, like a short book summary at the end. And that was what we did for literature. And then he just finished We Beat the Streets. It's really great. If you're looking for an uplifting, empowering book about African Americans that grew up on the streets of New Jersey, and they were in a very like a poor area, and they overcome all odds to become doctors. This was a fabulous book. True story. There is a middle grade version. That's what this is. There's also like an adult version / YA version, and it has like more language, and it would probably be more challenging to read. But we had this one already, so we just went with what we had, and my son absolutely loved it. There are a few pictures, but it's mostly just their story. It's so good. So we really super love that. So that's what we've done for literature. I'm not sure what he's going to do next. I need to pick a new book because he literally just finished this one today. So really good. So that takes care of our English. For composition, we mostly just write summaries about history or about what we're reading, and that's what we do for composition. That's kind of what we've been doing. So it works out great for us. So that takes care of his language arts. Next, let's do history. We started off the year using Oh Freedom. He's picking up an American history credit this year. And so Oh Freedom is like a conscious U.S. history program. I have a review on it, or a flip through on it on my channel if you're interested in it. It is by a company called Woke Homeschool. It's going to tell the history of America, like the early years, I think up through, oh, I don't know what year it goes through, but it definitely goes through like, after like slavery and all of that, when that ended. It goes through that period of time, but I'm not sure the exact year it cuts off. But we really wanted to do something different. We've covered a lot of American history, like your typical, here's the colonies, here are the Pilgrims, here's their story, here's Jamestown and the presidents and all that. We've done that like it feels like we do it every year. So he wanted to do something different and get a different perspective for his high school American history credit. So we grabbed up Oh Freedom and have used it a good bit. There are things I love about it, and then there's some things that I don't love about it. So we're kind of adapting it for us. I'll tell you what I love about it. The documentary that you you get a membership for, I think it's like $10 for the year. It's called $14.91. We enjoyed all of those episodes. They were great. They're really good. It was neat to hear like just voices of people that aren't always represented, and what it was like for them. Like you're talking Native Americans, African Americans, and just different people than just, you know, the colonizers. So that was a really great documentary. One thing I will say about it is it's been really hard, not like hard as in hard work, but hard as in like tough topics, deep topics, sad topics, depressing topics, you know, a lot of suffering, a lot of, you know, bad things happening to people. And it's tough. And a lot of times the way the curriculum is written, you know, there's lots of different books. You're using lots of different like books. This is one of them. This one, I didn't even pull all of them. This one, also on Indigenous peoples, history of the United States, and the Atlas of Indian Nations. So it's a lot of books, and which I do like that, but a lot of times you will be reading like about the same kind of hard event in American history, and you'll read it in this book, and then you're going to read about it again in this book, and then you're going to read about it again in another book, and it's just so much hard, heavy stuff, and it was wearing on my kiddo. And so that was one reason we picked up We Beat the Streets for an English literature pick, because I really wanted something that was empowering and seeing, you know, people of color like in an empowering way. And I mean, this is history, like all of these things happened, but it's just been really heavy. And so that's my only criticism of it, is just a lot of heaviness. And it's a full curriculum, so there's not a ton of time. Like you'd be adding on a lot to like add more things to it. She does have some historical fiction recommendations. I can't imagine adding to the course. It's a lot already. So we have kind of just, maybe we'll pick one of those readings a week instead of doing all of them. And then we've been supplementing it with this book. This is the Complete Middle School Study Guide. And they do recommend that you could do this as a regular spine. It's you know, they say like if you want a traditional history spine, this is one that they do recommend to go along with it. I absolutely love this. I think this is great if you're looking for a neutral, like politically neutral, and nonpartisan. It's just the facts. It's not gonna to push things one way or the other, which I like that, as far as giving you just the facts about things. So I really have enjoyed it. What I love about it is there are questions at the end of each chapter, so you can do those as quizzes and count them as grades. The information is presented really clearly, concise, quick to read, and it does, of course, teach even about difficult things, but it's more of a, you know, it's just a lighter, I guess, a lighter hand with it. So he's really enjoying this. We've definitely, I would highly, highly recommend this, especially if you have a sensitive child. So good. And we're loving that. And then we're also using the cartoon history of the United States for fun. It's really great. So I love that. And in our state, he had to get a unit of Constitution. That's part of American history here. And we did Book Shark. It's a free unit. I have a video on my channel where I reviewed it. Highly recommend it. Absolutely wonderful. We loved it. I can't tell you enough great things about it. So that's what we're doing for history. And again, I'm not saying I wouldn't recommend the O Freedom. I think it is good. It's great for something different. I think you could, it's not expensive, so you could certainly just pull a little from it and leave behind if it's what might be too much for your child. You know their mental health, you know what they can take. So that's, I guess, how I feel about that. Next we've got math. He's doing math right now, but he just finished up We Love Life of Fred. He did complete advanced algebra. He started it near the end of last year, and he just finished it at the end of our second quarter. Love, love, love it. If you have a math gifted child or a kid that's even quirky, I would say it's like for quirky math gifted kids that do math in their head. This is like, I think this is a good book for them. It's very advanced. My son had completed teaching textbooks, Algebra 2 last year. And then we grabbed this because this has got a lot of like pre-calculus concepts. It's going to have a lot more advanced, really is like almost like a pre-calculus, even though it says advanced algebra. So I'm pairing this with Life of Fred Trigonometry for a pre-calculus credit for my son. And he just started the trigs. I'll let you know at the end of our third quarter how it's going. But absolutely love it for my son. Great pick for him. Wouldn't use it for my daughter, but it's really great for him. So it's been really good. And we're still using that. Chemistry, I don't have anything with me except for like one of our fun reads. We are doing for fun reads with chemistry, Napoleon's Buttons and the Elements. That's a great book. It's a very colorful book. I should have grabbed it. We're using that. At the beginning of the year, we had picked a curriculum that I had never seen before, and it was by a chemistry teacher, and it was called Advanced Chemistry. Mr. Q is his name, and it's like from the lab of Mr. Q, Mr. Q's Advanced Chemistry. We did it all from the first quarter for most of the second quarter, and he was learning a lot. It was a ton of math, like a ton of math. That's basically, I feel like all it was math for the most part. And, you know, he's already taking pre-calculus. So I just felt like he was doing math all the time. And it wasn't my favorite. Like, I think it was good. It was definitely advanced. But it was just, I felt like it was just cramming so much more than what he really needed to take from chemistry. Like, what's he going to actually, you know, use? So we switched it up near the end of the second quarter, and we purchased Christian Kids Explore. It's chemistry, and they have a whole series. Y'all may have seen them. They have Christian Kids Explore Physics, all kinds of different physical science ones, and they are targeted for like elementary through middle school. So I don't know, for some people they might not like that for a high schooler, but for us, you know, we don't care. I looked through it and I thought it looked great for him. And it's, the lessons are short. It's teaching them all the concepts that you would want them to really hold on to. Maybe if your child was going to go into like the medical field or go into a science field, if you feel like they had that, it might not be enough for them. But for my kid, it's perfect. I think it's great. So it's teaching them about atoms, matter, atomic mass, atomic number, atomic weight, isotopes, just all of that stuff. They're doing element cards, and there are short little labs that are pretty simple. And it's been so much better. He's really enjoyed it more. And I feel like he's getting more out of it, honestly, than just cramming stuff that he immediately forgets because it's boring. He doesn't like it. So again, we switched that out and we're using Christian Kids Explore Chemistry. I'll try to link it below if you want to look at it. And what else? Is there anything else I wanted to say about it? No, he's just really liking it. Oh, and we are beefing it up with some of the Khan Academy videos. We used Khan Academy videos last year with our science when we were using A Gentle Feast. We did herd picks for biology. They were great. And so I just decided, like, we'll just add in some of the Khan Academy videos. So like when he was learning about atomic mass this week, I found the videos on Khan Academy that went into depth about atomic mass and isotopes and all of that kind of stuff. And it just beefs it up a little and makes it a little more adult. And the Christian Kids Explore Chemistry, it has review it questions, which you can use as a quiz. It has unit tests. They are easy. Now, let me tell you, they're easy. But again, they're still learning the concepts, and that's all I care about in our school. So that takes care of, I think, everything he's doing at home. At co-op, he's doing ASL, American Sign Language 1. He's loving it. He's learning a ton. He goes on to Sign School, which is a free online resource. It's amazing. If you have a kid that's interested in American Sign Language, I highly recommend ASL and Sign School. So he is teacher at co-op, teaches them, and then he just practices at home. And normally she'll send them home with a list of the signs that they need to learn, and I'll record him doing them, and then he just watches himself and practices. And it's been so fun, and he loves it. If you have a kid who's not super wanting to do another foreign language, I think ASL is a great, fun pick. So he's loving that, and he's also doing Powered for Life at co-op, and that's like a career exploration class. They're doing resumes. They did like a whole career, big, huge project about what they might want to do for their career for the first semester. And they're reading What Color is My Parachute and working through that. And he's loved that. And the last subject that he's doing is personal finance. He's also doing that through co-op, and they are using Dave Ramsey's course, and he's loved it, and it's been great. So that wraps up his whole first semester. So I hope that was helpful, and I will move on to my daughter in just a second. Okay, let's talk about my 7th grader. So history for her, story of the world, not a surprise. Love it, used it every year. Just can't go wrong. I got the quizzes to go along with this one. And she'll do the quizzes. She'll do a chapter and a quiz. And then she will read the chapter again and give me a composition, like a little narration about it. Use that for an English grade. And that's our history. And she also does history at co-op. And I think they loosely follow the story of the world. Honestly, I'm not sure. She doesn't really have much homework, so I just have her do this for us at home. Absolutely love it. This is ancient times. She'll probably get through it. We've done all of these so many times, but she loves it. It's so fun. Highly recommend all the way through middle school. Such a great series. Why don't they have anything like this for older kids? I know that she has like a high school level. It's not fun. It's boring, but this is fabulous. So love that. She's doing it. It's been great. English, once again, we tried learning language arts through literature for her as well. And she would just do it. Like, she has no problems doing this. She will read the books even if she doesn't like them. We got further with her in it. She did read Black Beauty, and she's just my girl that will just do whatever I ask, but she did not like it. She won't complain, but she did not enjoy it. So we put it aside, and we're not using it anymore. So there's more review on that. What we are using are the Brave Writer boomerangs. I guess that's what the single issue ones. So I love them. They teach grammar and literature. And right now she's doing Call of the Wild and White Fang. She just finished Call of the Wild. She's moving on to White Fang. If you've never checked out, if you're unschooly or interest-led in a kind of person, or you just like creative things, highly suggest Brave Writer, especially their literature. I love it. You get the book, and then you can buy these little single issues by age, and they give them copy work for the week, and then that little teaching stuff about why they picked the passage, a little grammar lesson. It can be things like personification, semicolons, capitalization, all kinds of just grammar reinforcements. and then hyphens, and they just teach. It's very gentle, but it's fun. It's not boring. It's not a bunch of like, what happened on page 52, filling in the blank stuff. It's just so good. And so I love it. I love Brave Writers boomerangs. So that's what we're using for her for language arts right now. And I highly recommend them. We've done so many of them. Also really like for older kids, the Good and the Beautiful book studies. Not necessarily their language arts, but their honors book studies are really good for older kids. My son did one last year. He did the Screw Tape Letters, and it was fantastic. Perfect for older kids. I wish they just did that for their high school English. I don't understand. I wish that's all they had because they're phenomenal. So Brave Writer boomerangs. They have Dart for younger kids. I forget what the other ones are called, but check them out. They're affordable. I think it's like $12, and this will cover us for like 4 or 5 weeks. So I think they're great. So that is her language arts. She reads tons of things all the time. Like she's reading these books right now, but she reads a bunch of other books all the time. And for her composition, I'll give her creative writing prompts. Sometimes I still use some of the projects from the Writer's Jungle for her. There's tons of great ideas in here. I love it. So, and sometimes we do free writing and history narrations, and that's basically what we do, whatever I feel like for composition, and give her a choice. So that's her language arts. She still does handwriting. She loves cursive, and we're using the Good and the Beautiful for cursive. So their handwriting is great. My son doesn't want to do it, and I just quit making him, but my daughter loves it. So we're using that. I guess that kind of counts as language arts in a way. So she's still doing that. She finished this one. I'll probably give her my son's book, but she's loved that. For math, we are still using Learn Math Fast. I think a ton of people don't know about this. Please, if you guys share the video, I don't care about my channel like being big, but share my video about this. This is an amazing math program. So she has finished this year, just in half a year, their entire pre-algebra, and they call it like a pre-geometry. She's finished both of those books. It was volume 3 and 4. She just finished pre-algebra, so now she's moving on into their algebra 1, and it is great. I showed it to my husband and my son, who are both like math gifted, and just to make sure, like, is this enough for algebra 1? But it teaches it really incrementally. If you're interested in a detailed flip through of this volume 5, which is their algebra, I will be glad to give it to you. Just let me know. But I showed him kind of the table of contents and everything. It goes through teaching him about integers, and this is the algebra, all the way through factoring and into prime factorization, monomials, binomials, trinomials, factoring a quadratic equations, all the way through all of that in 36 lessons, and they're not hard. And I've never been able to understand math as well as this. If you have a not math-brained child, I think this is a great pick, an absolutely great pick. And she is not, I wouldn't say she's not math-brained, but, you know, and she's like, not that she's, you know, she's good at math, but she's not, she has to write things out like me. It's great. The explanation is fabulous. You get a lesson, a worksheet, and then there's additional worksheets online, and all of the problems are worked out completely, like the solutions. So you don't have to like figure out like how do they do it. It writes it all out for you so you can see like where they might mess up. I'll show you, like, here's an example of one of the problems like completely worked out. So yeah, I love it. It's fantastic. I'll probably continue to use it. So Learn Math Fast, we are fans. And let me tell you, when we first started homeschooling, we had a hard time finding math that worked for us. So I'm so thankful that both of my kids have found math that they love. Next thing, science. She's taking science at co-op. Don't like the books they're using, so I'm not going to tell you about them. I mean, they're fine. We just do our thing and it's okay. But we do our own stuff at home because it's very little that she brings home. I love her science teacher. I just don't particularly care for the books that they're using. So bummer. But we ended up pulling back out The Good and the Beautiful because I had bought the mammals unit and I wasn't going to use it. But now I've done a couple of the lessons with her. They're so good. Dang it. They're so good. It makes me want to teach her science at home. They're great. And the books are really great that they come with. So I can't say anything but that I love them. Love them. It's got tons of little games to play. There's little mini books that come with the unit. This is a great unit, the mammals unit, I think for older kids. I would say ages like 9 and up. There's little food chain activities. It's so good. We laminate everything. There's like vocabulary words. It is really good. And the extensions for the older kids, like I found them to be really entertaining. They hold her attention. I mean, they're really good. They're really good. So we're using them. It's great. Really love their mammals unit study. I'm trying to think if we've used some that we didn't love from them. I don't know. But I do think their science is fun. So that's what we're using for her at-home science. And if you have ideas for her next year, she'll do, I don't know what she's going to do for science next year, but I'd love to hear suggestions. So that's what we've got for that. And then finally, I'm almost done her Spanish. She was going to pick up a high school Spanish credit this year. You can get, and I don't know. We started with Life Pack. We bought it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's definitely teaching at high school level. It's a lot of writing. And I did really good in Spanish in high school. My grandfather spoke fluent Spanish. He was Hispanic. And so, like, my maiden name is Ponce. So, but he didn't really speak it in front of me. But I learned a lot. I took it for 3 years in high school. I advanced placed into it in college. So I still remember a lot of it. I cannot imagine teaching this to my child if I didn't already know a lot of Spanish. I think if you did not have a teacher that was not fluent but could speak like pretty well, you would be completely lost at home trying to do this. It comes with CDs. There's no videos. It's a lot of vocabulary. I don't really necessarily understand how they introduce things or the order that they're doing it. And then the other thing that I don't love is like, it's just like clip art. Like all the pictures are just bad. So we got through, I think, Unit 4. So halfway through, she was making A's. She hated it. She was like, oh, Spanish, yuck. And she was having to do so many pages every day to get through them. And I was just like, you know, you're in 7th grade. You do not have to get a high school credit for this. So we went back to Duolingo, and she's so much happier. So that's what we're doing. And we're just gonna, this was a no for us. So other people might love it, and it definitely does teach them. But I don't think you could do it if you did not already have, like, if one of the parents hasn't taken Spanish and remember a lot of it, you will be completely lost, in my opinion. So I think that's all of her stuff. Her co-op, she's doing the history at co-op, like I said, science at co-op, and she's taking art at co-op and STEM, Lego engineering kind of thing. She's loving that. And what else is she doing there? I think that's all. So she's busy doing fun things, but that's all I've got to show you for our second quarter. So I hope I encouraged you, like, if you're like me and you guys start stuff and then you're like, ugh, and you switch it up, you know, some things stay the same, but a lot of things change, and it's fine. They're learning. So that's kind of our attitude. But I hope you enjoyed this. I will link only the resources that we are currently still using, in case you want to check any of them out. So thanks always for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, a great whatever quarter you're in. I hope it's going great. You're doing great. Love your kids. Let them love to learn. If they're hating something, I just want to give you freedom to just move on or adjust, or, you know, free them up to love learning. I think in our house, that's the most important thing, because I just want them to enjoy learning and be lifelong learners. So y'all have a great day. Bye.